and circumstances change quick, and we have to swivel and we have to make decisions. I felt it was very, very important to be prudent and responsible to fill the vacancy in District 41 as quickly as possible. That's why we did not go through an application process. As you know, we got a short session. How many days are gone already? We got to get to work. We got to get things done. We're incredibly unfortunate that we have a member of the District 41 that is a couple that has extraordinary integrity, credibility, and did so many things for Nebraska, whether it's in Howard County, that region of the state, and I've had the privilege of knowing Fred a long time. Actions have been nothing but extraordinary from my seat. Had the privilege of appointing Fred late 23. Fred served, if you remember, the session of 24 and the special session of 24. So he comes to the party tomorrow ready to roll, comes to the party with great wealth of experience in the legislature. He'll be an asset from day one. I want to brag about Fred a little bit before I introduce Senator-elect Meyer. Fred and his wife, Kay, spent their life in St. Paul, longtime farmer. Fred grew up in Cumming County, graduated with UNL, degrees in animal science and ag education. He was appointed by Governor Johans in 1999 to serve on District 6 in the State Board of Education. We won election 2 times. During his 12-year period on the board, he served as vice president and president, obviously all leadership positions, and he's been honored many times for his involvement in community affairs and agriculture, multiple civic and professional organizations, and we just came from Ag Builders, and it was important for Fred to be able to be a part of the annual meeting today because he's been a part of that a long time. You know, I got to see Fred do things in places nobody ever talks about. His love and passion for rural Nebraska, his love and passion for kids. Fred's a sideline auctioneer. And auctioneer, you know, you get to find out what people's hearts are when you're at 4-H selling kids livestock that they spend everything. And the guy that has the mic has an incredible impact on how kids feel when they walk out. And so there's absolutely my view of the world. Fred and Kay Meyer, they're second to none. Congratulations, Fred, and a gigantic thank you.
Thank you. There's a lot of very familiar faces here, and I believe me from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here. And thank you for the opportunity to do this again. You know, a couple of years ago when Nebraska hired their current baseball coach, my wife gave me a T-shirt that says, "Go Big Fred."
I think it was basketball.
Or basketball. And then she added, you know, they're not talking about you. So continuing down those themes, you know, we all watch Nebraska men's and women's are both doing fantastically. And the way they play and the way they contribute, and everybody has a specialty and everybody contributes and everybody plays as a team is what makes them what they are. So for 3 weeks ago, I started saying no when I was asked about this opportunity because it wasn't in my agenda to do it again. I enjoy my lifestyle at home with my wife and my grandkids all pretty close. I'm semi-retired. I just enjoy our life there. But about 10 days ago, Coach Pillen started looking down his bench, and there was one guy on the end of the bench who didn't want to make eye contact with him. And he said, "Meyer, you're in the game." So that's why I'm here today, because I believe once you're in the game, then you give it your all, which I promised to do to my fellow senators. I promise to work hard on the issues that are in front of us. We all know that there's some budget deficits, and it's a short session, and the opportunity for any kind of new spending is just not probably going to happen, but that's okay. Sometimes we have plenty of laws and we don't need any more. So if we can be efficient with our time in this session, do what we need to do, I will contribute whatever I can and whatever knowledge and expertise I can. I think I'll be on a couple of committees. They haven't informed me yet which committees I will be on, but I pledge to do my best to serve the people of Nebraska and the 41st District. So with that, thank you for being here.
I think next we'll go ahead and have Secretary please come up. So Secretary Edmund, if you come up and we can do the swearing in. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
And may I say that I had the privilege and pleasure of serving with Fred on the State Board of Education, and during my tenure there, Fred was the president of the State Board, and he did an exemplary job in that position. Wasn't always easy, and I very much admired Fred's leadership and his style of leadership. So I'm talking like you're not in the room. Now, and so it's now my honor and privilege, Fred, to administer to you the oath of office. If you'd please raise your right hand. Do you, Frederick C. Meyer, solemnly swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Nebraska, and you will faithfully discharge the duties of member of the Legislature, District 41, according to the best of your ability, and that at the election at which you were chosen to fill said office, I don't know, a vote of one, you have not improperly influenced in any way the vote of any elector, you haven't accepted, nor will you accept or receive, directly or indirectly, any money or other valuable thing from any corporation, company, or person, or any promise of office for any official act or influence, for any vote that you may give or withhold on any bill, resolution, or appropriation. If so, say I so swear.
I so swear.
Congratulations, Senator Meyer.
Thank you. Secretary Edmund.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We take questions from the press. Yes.
Does this feel like a full circle moment for you, Senator Meyer?
Yes, it does. You know, the first time I was appointed to this position, of course, Tom Breezy had held that for 7 years, and everything was new to me. The process, the hiring, staff, and everything. This time, I have experience of that, and I think I'm much more ready to hit the ground running, so to speak. So I'm ready to go to work. You know, years ago, I was at a candidate debate for some legislative candidates out in District 41, or whatever the number was 20 years ago. And one of the candidates kept saying, I will do this, I promise to do that, I'm going to do this, I want to do this. And it really struck me that when you're one of 49, it's not the I that's going to get anything done. Without working with a group of people and the relationships that you build in the legislature, you can't do anything. So I hope to be part of the team in the legislature that gets things done, and as efficiently and as quickly as possible.
John?
What kind of work have you done, will you do with your constituents now? Obviously, your predecessor left in messy circumstances, and there could be some feelings of bad blood still in the district around all this. What are you doing to kind of show you're really gonna?
I haven't had time to do anything. So my hope is that we leave that chapter in the rearview mirror. I had nothing to do with that. I didn't promote him to quit or ask him to quit or anything. That entire chapter was on Senator McKeon, and as for my opinion, we're starting fresh today. And I have a certain sympathy for the senators who were in the room yesterday when all of that took place, and that can't be easy. I know it can't be easy to make decisions about that sort of thing, especially in public. So you're a bunch of really good people, and have to go through what you went through. I admire you. So with that, as far as I'm concerned, that chapter is closed in District 41. I'm a believer in that. We already have too many bills. If it were up to me, we would limit that dramatically. Again, in the short session with limited resources, I've seen topics of a couple bills that have been introduced. I think I can work with some of those that are near and dear to my heart. But no, I am not planning on introducing any new bills or legislation. Again, this is the short session. Anything that's not passed by the end of this is done. So it would be fruitless to put our bill writers through the more work than is necessary, I guess.
Last time you were appointed, you made the commitment to not run for re-election once the term expired. And this time around, we have a special election later this year to decide who fills the seat moving forward. Do you intend to run for the special election?
All of that is to be determined. We'll just see what the future holds. I don't know. I'm not going to make commitment one way or the other. That's to be determined.
Governor Pillen, there's a vacancy on the Board of Regents. Can you talk us through what your plan is to appoint a replacement there?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, there is a board. We just got the letter 24, 48 hours ago, whatever day it was. So, yeah, I'm working on that process. I believe in relationships. I believe appointing people that I have relationships that I know, trust, and see the field somewhat like I do, and that's what we're working on today. Yes.
Regarding Senator Myers' appointment, did you consider any other candidates, or did you know from the jump that he was the guy?
Well, obviously asked Fred and Kay to step up in 23 after Senator Breezy became treasurer, and so and I know that the body had tremendous respect, and so under the set of circumstances, I thought it was really, really important that without a shadow of a doubt, in my view, Fred was the top person and wasn't top person in the district, and obviously work on backup plans, but I was very, very grateful when Fred and Kay gave up their good life and decided to come to Lincoln, and so I'm very grateful they've said yes. Yes.
Senator, during your time out of legislature, you've been on the governor's committee for school finance reform. How has that kept you up to date in legislative topics, and how is that going to help you?
Well, I guess I've kind of followed the legislative workings fairly close anyhow. School financing, I've been involved with that for a long time. Everybody says that the TIOSA formula is broken, but nobody seems to want to step up and have a better way to fix it. So we'll try to do some things as far as limiting property tax. We all know that is the #1 issue in Nebraska, especially with escalating valuations now. It's going to be challenging because I know there will be a number of bills introduced that address homestead exemption expansion and things like that that would consume more state dollars. And no matter how much in your heart you support things like that, homestead exemption for elderly folks that have been in their home for a long time, the bottom line is until we get the valuation increases kind of under control, some firm levy caps on subdivisions, schools, counties, cities, it's really, really hard to do that. And I know that in rural Nebraska, in spite of lower corn and soybean prices, we're still seeing some very, very significant jumps in ag real estate values. And that brings up another topic, I guess. Nebraska is one of the few states that uses comparable sales values in how they value real estate. I know most of the states around us use a productivity approach. In other words, how much the land brings in every year, and then their taxes are based on that, or the value of the land is based on that, which really, really limits the kind of valuation increases you would see. I know that would be a very complicated process, but in the years to come, I would hope the legislature would be able to move forward with something like that. I know Governor Pillen had talked about that when he was first elected. And there was some skepticism in various circles, but when you look at how other states value their ag real estate, it's just about exclusively on the productivity of the land.
Governor, the Tyson plant in Lexington is set to close next week. I know you said you hope to see it repurposed by the company. Do you have any update from Tyson on that?
Yeah. I've been talking to Tyson within every 10 days at least, sometime in some moments more frequently. They have, I'm obviously working with them. I'm not beating the soup out of them every day because, by the way, just so everybody knows, they have 8,000 other Nebraskans employed in the state of Nebraska. We've got Smart Chicken in Tecumseh and Waverly. They've got a bacon plant in Omaha. They have 4,500 people in South Sioux City that process 5,000 head of cattle, and I think about 1,200 people employed in Madison that processes about 10,000 pigs a day. So working hard. I want to just be on the record when people are talking about they're going to destroy the plant, fill it in with concrete and all that stuff. That's hogwash, pun intended. We're working with them saying, look, the city of Lexington has done extraordinary things. The people of Lexington has done extraordinary things for Tyson in the last 35 years. It's really, really important. You make a decision quickly. I think next week will be the last day. They are working and assessing if they can turn it into a case-ready meat plant or other processing within the Tyson chain. I'm pushing at every meeting. Look, as you have to decide that sooner than later, and that plant has to get repurposed sooner than later. It can't take months and months or years. It's not fair. It's not fair to Nebraska. It's not fair to Lexington. It's not fair to the people that have given everything. So that's what we're working on. You know, property rights is a fascinating conversation in the state of Nebraska, right? We all believe in our property rights, and so I'm trying to tell a publicly traded company how they're going to sell their plant when I want them to. So it takes a lot of needle threading to get that accomplished. But we're working hard on it. Not going to give up. Anything else? All right. Well, thanks for being here. Congratulations, Senator Meyer and Kay. Thank you. Congrats.
Signed up here.
Just double checking, pushing to the stream.
You're fine. Hey guys, Jacqueline Fernandez here at the Alert Center. Thank you so much for continuing to join us as we follow this breaking news. I did want to just kind of go over a recap of Governor Pillen introducing McKeon's replacement today. So he is suggesting Fred Meyer, who did, if you were watching earlier, take the official oath of office. So that is the exciting news there. Now, he says he plans on giving it his all. He mentioned working on the budget deficit. He also says he wants to be effective, as this is a short session, and he pledges to do his best. So after the official swearing in, the secretary, said, he's worked with Fred before and on the State Board of Education, and he did a fabulous job. So it seems like everyone is in his corner. So that is the good news as we move forward. Now, during the question and answer session with some of the reporters in the room, one of the questions that stood out to me was, is this a full circle moment for you? And he said, yes. He said, based off his previous experience, Fred is ready to hit the ground running. And he said, with this short session, he's hoping to keep things efficient, keep things on track. And along those lines, he's not planning on introducing any new legislation at this point anyway, right? So he says, as far as what's happened with Senator McKeon, and just he's saying we're leaving that in the past. He says he has nothing to do with the senator's decision in any way, shape, or form, and he says that he's starting this new chapter. So that's something to take note of there. Now, as a side note, I did want to talk about a question that was presented that Governor Pillen decided to take up just about when we talked about property rights and taxes and this kind of thing. So he was asked about the Tyson plant. So what is the plan there? Again, this is a side note to the news that just happened today that we are bringing you breaking live now. Governor Pillen was asked about the Tyson plant. He's saying he's working with them to try to get this as a case-ready meat plant, ? Or a processing facility, ? So he's saying he's working on it. This is a question that he's asking kind of day in, day out with Tyson to kind of get this lot set up and scheduled as something else as soon as possible. He says, the people of Nebraska deserve answers for what exactly is happening at that Tyson plant. So that is something to take note of as well. So I do want to head over to our website to kind of let you know if you want more information on this story that we're covering. It's available for you at firstalertsix.com. Now, in the meantime, I did head there and have this screenshot for you. So here is a look at Fred Meyer, who is McKeon's replacement for District 41. So everyone seems to be behind him and excited to kind of get the ball rolling in the shorter session. Now, as we take a look at the weather, kind of switching gears on you again here, but here's Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord's First Alert 6 forecast. So as you can see at the top, it says changing wind, big temperature swings in there. I don't know about you, but when I was walking to work today, it is a bit windy, and with wind in Omaha, typically comes the chill, right? At least it's kind of sunny out there, so that is good. Case in point, let's take a live look from our Blackstone camera here. So yeah, the sun is poking through the mini cloud layer there, and current conditions, as you just saw, were 28 degrees and fair out there. Rusty's anticipating a high of 33 degrees today, so compared to our 50s and near 60-degree temperature yesterday, things clearly are cooling down just a bit. So here's another live look for you at our Northeast First National camera at the Missouri River. You can see the American flag clearly blowing in the wind there. So yeah, it is windy out there. And then let's see. So Thursday, we have a subtle warming, Rusty says, which if you're me, you'll take that. And then Friday, a potential for scattered snow showers. And then as we take a look into the weekend, I'm going to head back over to firstalertsix.com. And again, I clicked on that First Alert 6 weather tab up here. But as we take a look into the weekend, Saturday, morning flurries, Sunday, partly cloudy. But of course, we are still a ways out this hump day on Wednesday, so we'll have to see what the meteorologists have in store for us then. Ooh, I do like to show this image as well. Now, with the wind, you can see the camera moving around here as we take a live look from our Southwest First National camera over the Desert Dome. I like that the sunshine, you can clearly see glimmering on the glass panes there, so that is a good sign. Now, in the meantime, if you want to learn more, as I mentioned, about this story or other stories, you can always head to our website. Again, that's firstalertsix.com. And please do stay tuned for our broadcast at 3 p.m. We're going to recap what we just learned here at the Alert Center. Governor Pillen announcing the new appointment for District 41, who is Fred Meyer. Thanks so much for joining us, and enjoy the sunshine while we have it.